just start sitting for 5 to 10 minutes, do nothing. Actually, death, I believe that death is the start point of living life. But for me, the biggest breakthrough came when I understood that it's not just the human life that I'm going through. It's actually the bigger connection is the soul. When you know that death is the ultimate reality and you face it, that's when you start to be thankful and grateful and to be living this life. I really have no idea. To that person, within 6 months she filed for her residency. She is now.
I'll dive right into it. First of all, if you wanted to give an explanation to the viewers, to the listeners about yourself, then how would you introduce yourself?
I think my main thing is to get into healing than understanding this more as a business. I understand life from the space of soul and what we are really missing when we are running around in life, like the haste that we all have,
Yeah.
the anxieties. So understanding that, taking a step back, pausing and understanding that you're not just this is not just the whole scenario. What sometimes we feel we are getting choked, or we're feeling that, oh my god, the pressures, oh my god, this is life and I can't do enough, it's not
Yeah.
right or wrong. So taking a step back, breathing in and saying that, okay, this is a soul journey and I'm experiencing a human life, and that's it. And it takes a lot of stuff away from you and gives you a lot of space to think
Yeah.
differently and do something differently. Yeah.
Fantastic. And for someone having to understand the astro, the vastu, the image consulting for the first time, how do you usually explain what you do in simple words?
I align persons inside to the outside. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great way of looking at it. And when you initially started this journey, did you always believe that this would become your kind of a life journey or life work? And did that clarity come a bit later?
No, absolutely not. I was looking for my own personal answers. I was
That's good.
going through a time where I just had lost my mother,
Mhm.
and things just, broke out crazy for me.
Mhm.
And I didn't know which way and how to look at things, and everything just dismantled about me.
Mhm.
And so I was just trying to bring my pieces back and reconstruct. I was like absolutely in a void space.
Mhm.
So what happened was that I was always been a meditative person. Spirituality was a great part of me,
Mhm.
but never astrology or vastu,
Mhm.
never.
Mhm.
So I was a person who would, like, if somebody tells me, even to go, especially in India, and if somebody would have told me that, why don't you get it your chart check or something, like, I would look at them like, really, really, like I was this person, and
Yeah.
would never believe in astrology. But somebody
Mhm.
in my younger days, somebody has told me
Mhm.
that you will going to come into this. I'm like, nah, stop it. And then when my journey started, and I was looking for meditations and stuff which I've always
Mhm.
been used to. So what happened here was, people in Western culture started asking me my birth time, my things,
Mhm.
and they started to open up my chart and understanding what's happening with me. I was like, wait a minute, this is what I've been just running behind, leaving behind.
Mhm.
And why do you would ask me about this? I'm asking for spirituality and asking for
Mhm.
meditation and how to go in and how to come
Mhm.
back to myself.
Mhm.
But they wanted to gauge out that what is the period that I'm serving and how things are working, and why am I going through what I'm going through.
Mhm.
And then that was Western astrology.
Mhm.
So okay, I said, okay, let me have a look, and I started
Mhm.
digging deeper with the Western astrology.
Mhm.
So I came across with websites and all, where
Mhm.
I actually took certain classes there in Western astrology from somewhere from Brazil, from somewhere else. And then they said, and I was like, okay, they told me certain websites, and then, you're now about to open the Vedic chart. Are you sure? Are you double sure that you want to open up a Vedic chart? I was like, what do you mean? Like, why would I not? And then I was like, what is this fuss about? I need to go deeper in this,
Yeah.
because Vedic comes from my roots, and I'm
Mhm.
not going to run away from them,
Yeah,
because
fair
that's
enough.
what I was trying to leave behind and come.
Exactly.
So that journey itself, that understanding, where you're like, no, I'm not going to understand it from this part, I would probably go back to my roots and understand what is Vedic, and then what are Vedas, and then the Upanishads and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
got a deeper dive there. So Vastu was not even there at that moment. It was just the astrology part that I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'm keen on this to know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it started for me to start mapping out my own journey and what's happening and how things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me a different perspective. So yeah, for me it has been my life journey and the bridging point between my meditative self, my soul
Mm-hmm.
self, to what I'm living in this now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, everything made sense with the bridging of this. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what I think is, because I've been that person who just was
Mm-hmm.
reluctant enough to
Yeah.
not go on that side, but I think it has solved a lot of stuff for me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And during this whole, exploratory stage that you were trying to find yourself some shape or form, or going back to the roots, understanding what they're talking about, were there any doubts that you were personally starting out in the space, especially any one or two doubts that you had in your mind?
I had fear. I had fear of knowing more, because sometimes when you are getting into something and you get to know something which is not in this moment, but you know that it will going to come up,
Mm-hmm.
so you get scared,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, why am I doing it, like why? And that is the time when I used to get fearful, and there was a term called medical astrology. I just left, kind of like, I don't want to get into, like, what's the problem coming up. So yeah, so I got into it slowly,
Mm-hmm.
slowly, and slowly is like my apprehensions kept, I can say, was slower,
Mm-hmm.
but my dive deeper was, my depth into it was very quick, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it called me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I chose it. I think it chose me in
Mm-hmm.
many ways. I feel like that.
True.
Yeah.
Anything else other than fear was any other doubt?
um no, it was just a personal journey that I was mapping out what's happening now.
Mm-hmm. And what was the fun at the first moment when you realized people were just not just curious about it, but genuinely getting results from your work?
That was an amazing thing. Yeah, when I started giving out things that I got,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started giving up to people, and
Mm-hmm.
they started seeing results, to somebody who can say that, you know what, I don't know tomorrow. I literally had this person coming in and said, I don't know, this is my bag, and I have 5 years old daughter. I don't know tomorrow where am I supposed to go. I really have no idea. To that person, within 6 months, she filed for her residency. She is now properly working, has a job, and she's taking care of her daughter. And then when she comes back and says, Didi, I really need to come and speak with you, like, wow, that brings a smile.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I did something and
Mm-hmm.
changed it. It's just that I just, just made that dots meet for her. Go do this will happen. Go do this will happen. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw the changes. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the most beautiful part of this. Is very rewarding to me.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting, isn't it? When people come with a lot of problems,
Yes.
and especially in the area where they do not have control, because believe it or not, I've been through that same journey,
Yeah. Yeah.
whoever that person was. And it is always interesting. I wish I had somebody, but unfortunately I had to figure out my own why during that. There was nobody other than my own self-belief
Yeah. Yeah.
and friends like family,
Yeah.
who comes in, who
Yeah.
supports you,
Yeah.
stands by you. And they're still, they're not in New Zealand, they're scattered around a
Yeah.
bit now, but I'm sure they will be still standing tall if it comes to that portion of it. So I can completely understand how that lady
Yeah.
must have felt,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
guy must have felt at that
Now
stage.
I'm
But
really happy to see her TikToks and everything. She's, just dancing, singing. It is an immense change and immense
yes,
pleasure for me to see her like that.
100%. But there are many people who are in a similar situation as, feeling stuck but can't explain why. What's the most common reason people come to you?
Definitely, most important is that they're stuck in some way, some way or the other. Sometimes life has given you enough grief, because grief comes from a really, really depth, where you have lost someone
Mm-hmm.
or something. Like, we were just talking, and we got a reel made on grief, just
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who's doing Instagram for me, she said, why are we talking about so much of pain and this and that? I
Mm-hmm.
don't like it. I'm like, okay, let it be. It has come, let it go. And somebody did actually came up with, listening to that reel, and
Mm-hmm.
she said, I'm actually dealing with the loss of my brother, and I don't know
Oh.
how to do about it. And I really don't know who's making I'm just called into somebody who's just spending money, and I don't know what you will do to me. Are you real? Can I have any testimonials? What is it?
Mm.
And after that, I've probably done all her family
Mm-hmm.
members and everything, and she trusts,
Mm-hmm.
and she's little by little coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I'm going to change the whole course of
Yeah.
thing what is there
Yeah.
written for you. I'm not God, but I'm saying that somebody who's holding your hand, because especially in a culture where we do not have family and friends real time,
Mm-hmm.
because you've migrated from some other countries, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in the midlife, so people are dealing with a lot of changes,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't understand sometimes, is it the physical change that you're feeling of being isolated, or is it the mental thing that you're finding very difficult, or but just somebody who's there who can guide you with. The good thing is that I'm not doing anything, but I'm understanding what's written and what's happening in this particular time period for you,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where it helps them to understand how long am I supposed to go through this.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you get an end point to it. So
Mm-hmm.
it may okay, or sometimes it's the clarity of you're putting in some effort in some direction which will not going to be a fruitful time period for you.
Sure.
So you feel that I'm a failure,
Mm-hmm.
which you're not actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the time period that you're serving may not allow you this thing, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
something else, which will be rather more fruitful at this
Mm-hmm.
point in time. So understanding and applying astrology, not out of fear or not out of like, oh, it's all bullshit.
Mm.
My understanding to astrology, because I've been that person, I
Yeah, of course.
know what it
You've lived
was.
on the other
And
side of the
I've lived,
ditch.
yeah, definitely, and I'm now seeing the results on the other side.
Yeah.
So, and I never thought that I would be this person,
Mm.
never ever, but I
Mm.
had to make those changes because I was going through a lot of stuff with
Mm.
myself, with the loss, and the depth only came from that space what I was feeling and I was stuck with.
Mm.
And this is what I didn't like planned to do it, but just came
Mm.
up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And people, just as a side note, is there any one or two things that you can recommend to the people who are going through such a tough time? Like, I mean, a quick stuff that they need to get away their mind off, or is there anything?
It's difficult to do it by yourself first, I
Mm-hmm.
think, but for me the biggest breakthrough came when I understood that it's not just the human life that I'm going through. It's actually the bigger connection is the soul, and to understand that, if it makes any easier, is that once the soul leaves the body, we burn the
Mm-hmm.
body. We
Yeah,
don't keep anybody at
true.
home, right? So at that point in time, every ritual has to be done.
Yes.
Yes, everybody is ready कि पंडित जी आए कि नहीं आए,
Mm-hmm.
हमने वो गंगा जल डाला कि नहीं डाला, what direction am I supposed to
Yeah.
keep the person, and then it becomes a body. Then
Mm.
nobody says पापा आ गए, मम्मी आ गए, everybody says
Mm.
okay, body का रख ली, body आ
Mm.
गई, so you're in the morgue. So all of those things, understanding that you're not just this body, there is something else and higher and
Mm.
superior.
Mm-hmm.
So detachment from this humanness to coming to the soul, it makes it easier and lighter, and to and
Mm.
also gives you bigger space to work through
Mm.
anything.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I think that would be something very well off if somebody understands that
yeah,
concept in that
yeah,
moment of grief, because
yeah.
it's too difficult to get into that space of detaching yourself from that kind of a feeling that comes into grief.
Somebody who's seen the loved one actually from your own eyes when you burn the body and you
Mm-hmm.
go through that procedure, actually death, I believe that death is the start point of living life. When you know that death is the ultimate reality and you face it,
Mm-hmm.
which really hurts deeper, and that's when you start to be thankful and grateful, and
Mm.
to be living this life. And how do I start living this life? Because there is an end point to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if the days are numbered,
Mm-hmm.
how much do I make more of it, rather
Sure.
than just money or other engagements?
Mm-hmm.
It's more about, did I lived enough?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of question changes.
Mm-hmm.
So the awareness is important and deeper,
Mm-hmm.
but it only hits us when we are in pain areas.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult because when we have everything possible, we are busy in something else.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Talking about awareness, right? I mean, there's always a kind of a support people talk about
Yeah.
that you need in times, in the
Yeah.
difficult times as
Yeah.
well as in good times. But what, according to you, would be those top 3 signs one can notice when someone's space or personal energy is not supporting them?
um, there are many ways to look at it. If you're feeling stuck and again coming back to the same loop, uh, you know that you're doing the same thing to resolve. Because when we create a problem, we're actually creating from a certain mindset. But if from the same mindset I'm trying to resolve that problem,
Mm-hmm.
it may not be the right way, because that mindset has created it.
Mm-hmm.
So one, you can have somebody outside, because Or the other thing is that you can put your problem outside of you with some objects and see that this person is doing this is happening, and why am I in this rotation, but keeping yourself aside.
Mm.
Like if there is a glass, you are this glass, and
Mhm.
the scandal is your problem, then
Mhm.
why is this person feeling around this? So basically bringing yourself outside of you and keeping it in a picture form or
Mhm.
something, so that you can go back to yourself and
Mhm.
then relate that, okay, this might be another way to look at it, not from
Mhm.
the inside but from the outside.
Mhm.
So one way is that, and
Mhm.
other way is that you can come to some people who are your confidant and you feel that they can help you out listening. And for me, the biggest thing is going within. And uh, for me, everything comes from the meditation that I do.
Mhm.
So if you have that inner connection,
Mhm.
you keep sitting there, you don't ask for anything, things drop in.
Mhm.
And that's your best
Mhm.
uh, friend, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a best way that you can explain it,
Yeah.
because there's always people who think that their current situation is not supporting
Yeah.
to the advancements they want
Yeah.
to. But again, at the end of the day, if it is something they feel somebody else is there, a counterpart is there where you can talk and they can listen and give a better suggestion.
Yeah.
It is always interesting to get
Yeah.
that viewpoint as well.
Yeah.
Um, during the research, during the research of this, putting all the questions and stuff, I was looking at the other people in New Zealand who are doing something similar work as
Mhm.
yourself, right? Um, I identified a different option difference between you and what they're doing is what you don't do is push any kind of beliefs in what they
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
right? You educate people quite a
Mm.
lot, and that's towards your reels, your shorts. I see them. Yet people still connect with your work. There's no belief, but the education connects you with them. Why do you think that is the case?
I think I'm not giving anything that I have learned. I am speaking from my own experience and how I've lived life,
Mm-hmm.
overcome certain things,
Mm-hmm.
and that experience is probably is the connection that they
Mm-hmm.
feel that this is. And also I believe people who are similar to your wavelength you will
Mm-hmm.
always catch. So I may also get those people who can understand me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that they are getting me, or it's also that I'm getting them. So
Mm-hmm.
the kind of people who are coming towards me is also my magnetic field and my way of looking at life, and that resonates with their energetic fields and they come to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe everything is in energetic
Mm-hmm.
way, frequency match,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what is happening for everyone.
True. And over the period of time, have you noticed any kind of shift as to who are approaching you now or today compared to who were approaching you previously when you kicked it off?
um, yeah, I think people with relationships
Mm-hmm.
and grief and uh, yeah, those people are more at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. It also has a lot to do with me, what I'm going through
Of
with
course.
my things at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what and how, like a person comes into me, I know what planetary position has to be in alignment for this person to be here at this point in time. It not we think, okay, I've booked this thing and that. No, you will certainly wait for the right time for that person to book that appointment and come in. That
Mm-hmm.
happens, and it's so evident. And I sometimes get like, wow, like
Mm-hmm.
wow, I'm in awe of this science. It is a mathematical calculation based on everything is more scientific, I feel here.
Mm-hmm.
Not just yes, there are drawbacks. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
there are, for years and years things have been exploited, manipulated,
Mm-hmm.
out of whatsoever. I don't have no comments on that, because I was one person never wanted to believe this. But
No, fair
now
enough.
I'm in an awe of this, that and the way I'm giving it is also
Mm-hmm.
from deeply rooted from my own experience and the pain that I've gone through
Mm-hmm.
and the understandings that I've got.
Mm-hmm.
And when I speak from that area, I think the other person who's in a frequency match is like, aha, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just that I'm going to come out from my pain area. It's also about a growth. It's also about how can, because as you know, all these vidyas are in the Vedas. There's a difference between vidya and shiksha.
Mm-hmm.
There's education, but vidya is coming from Vedas, and shiksha is coming from all the schools and education,
Mm-hmm.
the system that we have. So Vedic, this was called a Raj Vidya. The
Mm-hmm.
things, every kingdom you would see there was a Raj Purohit or the Kul Purohit or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So there was a system, there was a reason they
Mm-hmm.
all were there, and
Mm-hmm.
we lost it. and we lost it because many things happened, many invasions happened.
Mm.
And then being younger and being, we know more than our parents, and we don't
Mm.
believe this. We all
True.
gone through that. I've done that personally.
Mhm.
Never believed in
Mhm.
it. So yeah, but when it came to my real asking, and I needed a way out from what I
Mhm.
was feeling. So this path journey helped me, and if
Mhm.
anybody can access it and feel a little bit better
Mhm.
and actually find a path through it,
Mhm.
I'm really, that's how if it feels rewarding to me,
Mhm.
and it feels like, wow, this
Mhm.
is this is great, and
True.
everything feels worth it.
True.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, do you think this podcast was meant to happen?
I believe so. Like you mentioned that that other people are doing this in
Yes.
Auckland, right?
Yeah.
Why did you choose me?
I have no clue.
You could have chosen them as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I put
Sure.
that question to you. You tell
No,
me.
no, fair enough.
You made it possible. You asked
Yeah.
us. Yes. Yeah. But definitely, there have been other options as well, which I've been denying. So
Oh, okay.
people asked me, I was like, no, I'm not coming. So when you asked, I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, let's do it.
Oh, we count ourselves in the best place. I thought I would ask that question. So just to get more head around it, and get the headspace clear, can people, having no issues at all in the normal life, going day to day, can they pay a visit, and talk to you about their numerology or astro or vastu shastra?
I think so. Yes, there is no harm in just checking how things going, because I also give certain remedies for, even if it's a good time. What happens is, if it's not very serving
Mm-hmm.
time to you,
Mm-hmm.
you come at par. But when everything is good to you, you go
Mm-hmm.
higher than that. So
Yes.
it can obviously going to add up to what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. You're aligned
Mm-hmm.
more. So that helps in understanding where you're going, what can you invest in, what is a good time to do what,
Mm-hmm.
this in this particular mahadasha that you're
Of
serving,
course.
your planetary positions. And I would know that, and I would say, okay, I think it's a good idea for you to
Mm-hmm.
invest here. I think it's a good
Absolutely.
idea for you to, because everything is fine, and you're abundant enough in this
Yes.
moment to create. Or maybe it's more spiritually inclined time for you. Just start paying visit to whatsoever comes
Mm-hmm.
in spirituality to you.
And one more thing that I mean, while you're just talking about, I think I just one more thing came to my mind is from a business point of view or the business people point of view, how would they? Because when they look at anything happening within the business, they always think, oh, it's because of XYZ business decision, it's because of XYZ ABC issue,
Yeah.
but there's this part is never been reflected as one of the most convincing part to look at, which is the numerology, the astro side of the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What do you think, or what do you recommend to those kind of people, or is there any kind of a suggestion or an advice that you give it to those people to, yes, those are the issues, yes, 100%,
Yeah.
but you might as well want to give it a shot to this thing as well.
There are two ways to, if a business person comes to me, especially if it's in an office environment or people are
Mm-hmm.
structurally in some structure,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to check their vastu, what's happening wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I would definitely like to check what's happening in this birth chart of the owner, because there are certain time periods when you should not actually be starting anything, because you
Mm-hmm.
will not going to get any benefit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are making wrong decisions at the wrong timing,
Mm-hmm.
so, or maybe it's the wrong time that your decision looks like a
Yeah.
wrong, it may not be, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe you would have waited 6 more months, you would have got better results. And by
Mm-hmm.
the time you are in the 6 months, you've exhausted everything and you're like about to shut it, it was time for you to grow. So who knows that? For that, we need to get into it. So
Yeah.
certain placements in terms of
Mm-hmm.
directions,
Mm-hmm.
and also knowing your chart,
Mm-hmm.
that this would be a good time to do this,
Okay.
and then plan it accordingly.
Mm.
So you are actually in flow.
In
You're
that
not
momentum
opposite
of,
side of
yeah,
the
yeah,
flow. So you're in
true.
the momentum.
Yes.
You will do that easily.
No,
So that's the gain
fantastic.
out of that.
Oh, fantastic. But moving on to a bit of examples, and just to get that head around for people, if someone feels restless or
Yeah.
anxious at home or work, what's one small change you're after that you will suggest first?
If you're feeling anxiety and your brain is working too much, see which direction are you sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
because sleep has a lot to do, because that's the time when your actual real soul connects to the void from where it gets charged. It's not just your phones that are charging, guys, it's you getting charged. It's like, if you don't get that certain hours of sleep, you're like
Mm-hmm.
bonkers. You can go without you know drinking something, or without water, without food, but you cannot go without sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
and everything about you changes. So that sleep pattern is so deep that your soul gets recharging at that point in time. So acknowledging that and making your sleep pattern in any which way, having a ritual. If you're feeling anxiety in the day, having a ritual and then going off to sleep, like in Sikh culture there's a panchanana which is called,
Mhm.
you have to wash your hands, feet and face, 4 5 things before you sleep, so that you have a good calmer sleep. Having a shower before sleeping is also a good thing.
Mhm.
So make sure that your sleep is not disturbed. So
Mhm.
your phones, lights, everything is off, and you
Mhm.
get that connection of that
Mhm.
deeper thing. That
Mhm.
everybody has that hitting point. There's something that you just can't get up at that particular hour. If
Mhm.
somebody just wakes you up, your entire day goes off. It's because the connection didn't happen that time. So
Mhm.
if that happens, because we are thinking everything is so much, I have to do this and we are doing this and babes, everything is written for you. You will be doing this at this point in time. Just relax into it. And even when everything is not going fine, and if you have a voice who can tell you, you know what, this is just a time period, it'll be over, it's not the full
Mhm.
movie. So it helps to
Mhm.
understand things.
Mhm. Is there anything in the Western culture, like similar to the Sikh culture you talked about? Is there anything in the Western culture that people do usually before sleep, or is there any kind of
Mm.
if you talked about Panchanama, is it something similar that in the Western culture as well?
I
Or?
haven't experienced Western culture like this. I have experienced Western people around
Mm-hmm.
me in more meditative selves and more this thing. So there was a beautiful ritual that we had, um, that everybody had to sleep in a dorm,
Mm-hmm.
and there would be one watcher who will be watching for 2 hours, and then the other person will get up and he will sleep. The entire night we did that. So
Oh.
it was such a beautiful experience that somebody is watching over you while you're sleeping. And it was
Mm.
so, easing out the soul.
Yeah.
That I never felt it like that. Wow. And these are the rituals that are coming from, tribal people and tribes. And so it was ancient. I mean,
Wow.
I may have experienced it in the Western world, but that was ancient thing, practices. So somebody is watching you over when you're sleeping. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like having like now we believe that we have got angels, we've got things that, and they're watching over us, and you're sleeping around and you're
Mm-hmm.
taken care of, because most of the time our problems and making us little, and by the end of the day we're feeling so exhausted that
Mm-hmm.
we feel that, no, it's not worth it. So how do we bring back that spark? That is important, and what
Mm.
brings that spark is individual for everyone. And
Absolutely.
knowing that and
Mm-hmm.
sitting deeper and talking about it, it's good.
Fantastic. And the second question I have around those examples is, if someone feels confident inside but struggles to be taken seriously to others, what's usually missing in there?
So I didn't understand what.
So, if somebody like myself,
Mm.
let's say, for example, I'm feeling confident inside of what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but struggles to be taken seriously by other people,
Mm.
what's usually missing in them that makes sure that,
I
one.
think you are then portraying yourself very,
Mm-hmm.
very strong,
Mm-hmm.
but the inner connection to yourself
Mm-hmm.
is not in the alignment. It's saying, no, you're just faking it. So when
Mm-hmm.
the moment of that inner talk of that, am I
Mm-hmm.
faking it? Am I going to make it? Will he understand me? That all doubt, the self doubt that is there, if you release that, and the best part is watch it and stay present to it. Don't run away. Don't try to hush away. Just sit with it and say, hey, hello, what do you want? Like if you will actually go to a therapist or someone, you will going to talk about it. Why don't you talk about it
Mm-hmm.
yourself? Acknowledge it. Let it sit and ask what you want. Go
Absolutely.
deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And when people say, everything feels, blocked, how do you help them understand where the real issue might be?
Many things. One thing is, uh, as per astrology, I see it through what dasha period it's serving, what the
Mm-hmm.
yogs are in the
Mm-hmm.
in the chart. One thing is that. The other thing is how this person has been raised, in
Mm-hmm.
which environment. Is he constantly feeling that I'm not going to make it,
Mm-hmm.
or is it that it's the moment it is from the inner self that you come
Mm-hmm.
across, everything will be in alignment. The more you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to push everything from the outside to the in,
Mm-hmm.
nothing will sort out. You will still, no matter what you achieve, even
Mm-hmm.
with that demeanor, you will end up in some kind of mental failure or something, because you know that it's not real me. So the
Mm-hmm.
more real you arises and connection happens, it is quite visible in your aura.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True, very true. That takes me, to understand, quite a few examples that you gave. It's quite related to the daily life of the
Yeah.
people as well, right? And what, according to you, are the top two kind of habits you've seen people change that quietly improve their daily life?
there's certain remedies that I give everyone, and they're very personal to the chart
Okay.
detailing.
Yeah.
And I have seen people coming across a
Mm-hmm.
lot different and a lot better. And the
Mm-hmm.
feedback that the biggest feedback is once they come, they want the entire family to come.
Mm-hmm.
So then that is the time. Like yesterday, I had one client,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely new,
Mm-hmm.
already paid client, and
Mm-hmm.
she's sitting and she paid me another time. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe for the next time when I want to come in. I was like, but you, she said, no, probably. And today morning, she said, I want my daughter to come to you.
Okay.
So how early can you give me
Mm-hmm.
the time? So that's what resonates with them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what sits well. And you're trusting me, and that is the reason why you trust your child to
Mm-hmm.
come to me. So that is the bigger
Mm-hmm.
connection
Mm-hmm.
point and understanding I feel that they get.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can take them over that. What is the block here?
Yep.
What is the what can we do to
Mm-hmm.
just certain remedies can be
Yep.
astrological, certain things is like more related to vastu, that what
Mm-hmm.
direction you should, like somebody having problem with their employees,
Sure.
that employees are more above them rather
Yeah.
than they being.
With them sort
Yeah,
of stuff. Yeah.
so that way the
Mm-hmm.
placements matter,
Mm-hmm.
which placement is the area of the your
Mm-hmm.
staff, and which area are you sitting.
Yeah. But is there any kind of couple of things that you recommend in general, not to go into detail, but that people it helps people, change the way that they live their life, or if there's something they could do to make sure that their daily life routine can change from, what they're thinking of or towards a betterment of their daily life.
I think people who comes to me, they do realize that whatever problem that I'm going through
Mm-hmm.
is not that big, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm bigger than that. I
Mm-hmm.
have to just focus on being resilient rather than focusing on what's my problem.
Yeah.
So the prospects shift from problem to being resilient.
Mm-hmm.
The more you increase that, no matter what is thrown on you,
Mm-hmm.
you will going to come up. You will going to go
Mm-hmm.
through that easier.
And do results usually show up in first in the person or more towards your surroundings?
I think first in the person, and hence the surroundings changes because
Why?
everything is inside out. Uh,
No, fair enough. And as more people become more self-aware, intentional, how do you see your work fitting into their future?
mm, it's not the way how I look at things that my work is fitting or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the moment coming up with a women's circle for the first time. For uh, at the moment, it's for the
Mm-hmm.
same background culturally,
Mm-hmm.
like for Indian women most
Mm-hmm.
likely. So because I know the journey is quite similar, thought processes are similar, the baggages are similar. And there is a way that a woman behaves in their 30s and in their 40s and in
Mm-hmm.
their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
A lot is shifting, and it's not just um, things that were normal to you in their 30s may not be at your 45, where you're not feeling the same person at all, and things are changing. So how do you deal with all of that? And that's where I am growing to bring women
Mm-hmm.
together and create something which is more satisfying to the self first, and then
Mm-hmm.
from that space they're going out to their families with more love within themselves by loving themselves first,
Mm-hmm.
and then taking it from the full space to the other people
Mm-hmm.
in their lives. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting how you look at it, and for that to happen, it is really important for people to start thinking about that intentionally as well. I
Yeah.
guess in
Yeah.
some shape or form. We're moving towards the last bits and pieces of what a podcast is, and it is interesting to see how we have started off and made a full circle of things happening
Yeah.
as we started off with how and what you were before you started, and now at a place where you are bringing around people towards their future as well, which is amazing. And this one question we usually ask a lot of business people, a lot of co-founders who've come here, um, but I'll ask you in a different way. I think that will make much more sense, right?
Okay.
If someone's watching this wants to start quietly,
Mhm.
without overthinking or believing anything, what's one secret they can do today?
If possible in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
but any point in time of the day when you're by yourself, just start sitting for 5 to 10 minutes. Do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just do nothing. Close your eyes and just sit. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to try and make anything possible. Just be. We have lost our essence in the being. We are
Mm-hmm.
so much in the doer that we have lost it completely. As you will grow in this being,
Mm-hmm.
everything around you will start to shift by itself. There is
Mm-hmm.
no mantra needed. There is no any guru needed outside. Just sit with your closed eyes for start with as little as 5 to 10 minutes and make it into a practice. You will see in 6 months of time, if you continuously doing that like for without breaking it, you will have a lot of difference. But it's the easiest thing, and hence people do not follow it.
I wish it was that easy to sit 5 minutes quietly. I think the
Yeah.
new generation is much more about, and I mean, I include myself into it as well.
Yeah.
It's much about picking up the phone and looking at it, what's
Yeah.
happening, turning
Yeah.
off the alarm, and
Yeah.
just heading out. And
But don't you
doing
feel
things.
that it's making us so short-sighted and so aggressive and so in a haste all the time? Because we
It
don't want
is.
people to now finish the reels also. Like,
Yeah.
okay, can we have a 2 point
It's a
something X?
30-second reel. It's the
Yeah.
quickest way.
No, also we want it to go faster. They should speak faster because my
Yes.
brain needs more, more, more. And we are in
Yes.
such a rut to do that. We have practiced ourselves into this. And then we want ease in our brains. So we have to need to empty it out as well.
True. No, 100%. And yeah, I think it is what it is. I mean, again, we can try to change ourselves as much as I can. And I think
Look, I'm not asking like go to the gym,
no,
do
no, no.
this,
I
do
mean,
that.
that would
There's
be
no
much more
not to. That will
easier.
be easier.
That
But
would be
not
much more
being
easier
into
for me.
that's the essence. Just being is
Yeah.
enough. That makes it like I'm enough.
True.
I am enough.
True.
God has, if so, in Indian culture we believe there's so many yonis that you come across and you get a human birth. You have done something right to have this birth. But how you're living this birth is important. These are valuable questions to ask, to connect. Like we can grow in any form and anything. But if we do not if we haven't grown inside, I think the human life is wasted. And you will going to take another janam to come back and then go through this grilling again.
Oh, hopefully not. Hopefully, let's see how it goes. But we come to an end of our podcast today, and I think if my next best question would be, is there anything that you want to add to say to the listeners, to the viewers who will be watching this in a short span of time now?
Yeah. I think I really believe with that quote of Henry Ford that if you believe you can, if you believe you can't, you're right either way. So it's up to you. If you feel there's a problem, there is a problem. If you feel you can overcome and you're bigger than your problem, you got. So that's how I would like to say that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Anchal. I really appreciate that. And what I would like to say to the viewers is today wasn't about belief. It was about awareness and, how we can make small changes in our space and how we show up can quietly change the way we feel and move forward. Thank you, Anchal, for simply sharing with us. And this conversation, if this conversation made any sense or, help you make pause or, reflect on yourself, that's a takeaway for us.
Yeah.
Please like, share, subscribe, and save it for the later. Until then, see you in the next episode of Scaling Secrets.